What's going on, everyone? My name is Cody Pennant Jones, and welcome to another another artist review, man. Honestly, I was really excited about talking about this group of musicians. You know what I mean? It's like these guys have been absolutely game changing in heavy metal. You know what I mean? It's like these guys, they shaped heavy metal in ways that I can't even explain, you know? And it's crazy because growing up, I was never really that fond to heavy metal. You know, it's like I was really picky with what I listened to, you know? It's like I was only familiar with Metallica and System of a Down. You know, it's like growing up, I never really explored very much of metal. Let me scoot this closer. Yeah. So it's like when I started doing these artist reviews, I'm surprised as to how many artist reviews I've done. You know, it's like I wasn't even sure about doing a whole artist review, but it's like by the time that I started like recording more and really like breaking down the stories behind these artists and talking about their music, it's like I really got fully invested to a point to where I had the idea of not just breaking down the backstories of hip hop, but it's like I was so invested in the idea of, you know, doing more than just hip hop and rap music and rock. You know, it's like I had the idea of like really taking it to another step, to another genre, you know what I mean? Like to a point to where I thought, you know what? I'm going to talk about rock music. I'm going to talk about the rockers I grew up listening to. I'm going to talk about the metal bands that I've been into, and I intend to do more, especially with Metallica at some point in the future. It's just they have a huge library, you know what I mean? It's like I completely had the idea of really wanting to get into their stuff. But I was listening to Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold, and I completely remembered, oh yeah, you know what? I'm actually interested in checking out more of their stuff because I was really enjoying the Hail to the King album, you know? So it's like I had the idea of like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to dedicate a whole video talking about Avenged Sevenfold. Also, I hope y'all like enjoyed this view of the reviews, you know, instead of just my face and that's it, you know. It's like I kind of figured, you know what, I'm gonna go a different direction, you know. It's like I'm gonna have my face on it with this little right here, this little microphone. Hi, hello, how you doing? With the images, the covers, and hopefully it will still show their backstories and everything. You know, so it's like you guys get to have a good look at the images and, you know, the whole nine, you know, instead of just my face and that's it, you know. So hopefully this is much better and much clearer and like more enjoyable auditorially and visually, you know. Oh boy. That's that poggers. But honestly, man, I'm not even gonna waste any more time. Let's get it cracking, shall we? If you're not familiar with Avenged Sevenfold, man, well, whether or not you're into heavy metal, I'm gonna do a little backstory on Avenged Sevenfold. And also, I kind of like their images right here. See, I like this image right here. Damn it, I can't tap it. Damn, they got 11,609,489 monthly listeners. That's incredible. But we're not going to talk about their monthly listeners. We're going to talk about their backstory and then talk about their music. For a legion of devoted adherents, the Avenged Sevenfold catalog is part of the DNA of modern hard rock and a constantly evolving soundtrack documenting the creative twists and turns, driven by a muscular melodicism, that's a weird word, urgent intensity and adventurous spirit. A7X anthems account for over 2 billion streams, over 10 million records sold worldwide, 2 consecutive #1 albums on the Billboard 200 top albums chart. Sorry, I completely had a brain fart. And multiple #1 rock singles. You know, so it's like they're more than just, you know, heavy metal and all that stuff. They're rock music, you know, it's rock, it's metal, it's just, you know, that, you know, that hard shit, you know what I mean? It's fucking amazing, you know. Since its formation in Huntington Beach, California in 1999, the band combined a passion for extreme music and subculture with a determination to blaze its own path. Their newest record, Life Is But a Dream, is designed to provoke and inspire, courageously broadening the new wave of American heavy metal sound pioneered by the band with confidence, attitude, and intention. Upending predictable conventions without sacrificing hooks, the band's 8th album champions discomfort, tension, rage, and groove with esoteric abandon, exploring the absurdity of life and death. At the forefront of rapidly changing technology, cultural mile markers, the new ways for communities to engage, Avenged Sevenfold is steadily constructing its own ecosystem in real time, existing in a symbiotic relationship with its audience based on complete trust and mutual respect. Life Is But a Dream is the natural, creative anchor and sonically immersive environment for this mission, put by Avenged Sevenfold. But I'm afraid there's still so much more. So that's why I got my tablet right here to really break down more behind the artists and not just the Life Is But a Dream project and them being formed in 1999. You know, there's so much more to these artists than just that, so give me a second. Okay, found it. Avenged Sevenfold, or abbreviated as A7X, is an American heavy metal band from Huntington Beach, formed in 1999. The band's current lineup consists of vocals M. Shadow, guitarist Zachy Vengeance, that's a badass name, Sinister Gates, damn, bassist Johnny Christ, and drummer Brooks Wackerman. These are some fucking cool ass names. Avenged Sevenfold are known for their diverse rock sound and dramatic imagery in album covers and merchandise. The band emerged with a metalcore sound on their debut album, Sounding the Seventh Trumpet. They largely continued this sound through their second album, Waking the Fallen. The band's style has evolved by their third album and first major label release, City of Evil, into a more traditional heavy metal style. The band continued to explore new sounds with its self-titled release and enjoyed continued mainstream success before their founding drummer, Jimmy the Rev Sullivan, died in 2009. Despite his death, Avenged Sevenfold continued on their help with the help of Dream Theater member Mike Portnoy, I hope I'm saying that right, and released and toured in support of their fifth album, Nightmare, in 2010, which debuted atop the Billboard 200, their first #1 debut. Okay, so honestly, man, it's like there's so much going on with this band, but honestly, to date, Avenged Sevenfold has released 8 studio albums, 1 live album, DVD, album/DVD, 2 compilation albums, and 18 singles, and have sold over 8 million albums worldwide, and their records have received numerous certification awards, including 5 Platinum Album Awards from their home country's institution, RIAA. They have also created 4 original songs for the Call of Duty Black Ops series, all of which were compiled together in the 2018 EP Black Rain. The band ranks number 47 on Loudwire's list of top 50 metal bands of all time. Christina Fuoco of AllMusic called Avenged Sevenfold one of the more successful and accessible metalcore outfits of the early 21st century. In 2016, the staff of Loudwire named them the 47th best metal band of all time. And honestly, man, it's like these guys have absolutely, like, this band is just incredible, you know? You know, it's like, in my opinion, I think they made metal more metal, you know? It's like, it just sounded way more hardcore than, like, average metal from the fucking 90s. You know, way more hardcore than the 90s metal, 80s metal, you know? It's like, it really, like, evolved in a more hardcore sound, you know what I mean? In 2011, drummer Aaron Illiday joined the band on the tours and recording the first band's 6th studio album, Hail to the King, which was released in 2013. Marked the only Avenged Sevenfold album featuring Illiday. It would feature a heavy metal and hardcore style, with it being written as a tribute to their influences. Hail to the King charted as #1 on the Billboard 200, the UK charts, as well as the Finnish, Brazilian, Canadian, and Irish charts. Illiday left the band in the late 2014 and was replaced by former Band Religion drummer Brooks Wackerman, but the lineup change was not announced to the public until 2015. The band then surprise released their 7th studio album, The Stage, in October 2016. Which debuted as #4 on the Billboard 200 charts in the US. The Stage is their first conceptual album and marked another stylistic change for the band, moving towards a progressive metal sound. The band released their 8th studio album, Life is But a Dream, a highly experimental record, in June 2023. And honestly, man, there's still so much more to really say, but it's like these guys have gotten so much influence from so many people, and it's a lot to really say, but I don't know if y'all really want to hear all this interesting stuff. But really, these guys have been absolutely game changing, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, I don't even know where to really begin. But I don't want to freaking bore y'all with all this info like I did with the Eazy-E video. That shit was like 30 minutes long. But it's like, at the same time, I had no problem with it because I had a whole lot to say. But obviously, man, these guys have absolutely like changed metal in the biggest way, you know? But honestly, let's just get into their albums. Now, obviously, I already mentioned how Sounding the Seventh Trumpet was their very first album, which came out right here above me, right here, March 19th in 2002. And honestly, man, like, looks aside, it looks like a very interesting looking image for an album. But in my opinion, like, out of 13 songs, this was a 9 out of 13 for me. You know, it's like, I was really feeling a lot of the songs in this, but I don't know, it's like personally, I just wasn't really digging it all that much. You know, it's like, I think for 9 songs out of 13, it was an enjoyable album in my opinion. But it's like, at the same time, I was barely like getting used to the sound that they had, you know. And funny story is, my buddy Isaias Botello from Palmdale, California, this dude was a huge like metalhead, you know. It's like he listened to this, he listened to Korn, he listened to Pantera, you know. It's like he was like really into like heavy metal like this. But I didn't get into Avenged Sevenfold until I heard the Waking the Fallen album right here above me, which came out in 2003. Now for this, it was a 12-song album, which, as you can tell right here, these green checks, I absolutely enjoyed the shit out of this album. It was a personal favorite, especially with Unholy Confessions, with Second Heartbeat, I Won't See You Tonight Part 1 and Part 2, and Part 2 was fucking awesome. But honestly, man, Waking the Fallen, this was a spectacular project in my opinion. I absolutely enjoyed the shit out of it. But when City of Evil came out in 2005, this was another fucking hit banger, you know, like this, like 11-song project. This was another great one, you know, especially with the way that the fucking images look. It looks more and more metal looking and more badass and shit, you know, especially for something that came out in 2005. It was fucking cool as shit, you know. And honestly, this was another like fucking 100% like grade A project in my opinion. But when the self-titled album, which I most certainly remember a friend of mine having this CD, he was another metalhead. The 2007 Avenged Sevenfold album came out. This was another fucking like amazing project. You know, only thing is with Backcountry, I wasn't really feeling it, but at the same time, it's like I enjoyed it regardless because it was still a good song, you know. But with songs like Brompton Cocktail, Unbound, with Gunslinger, Critical Acclaimed, this shit was fucking incredible, you know. It was another great listen that I really like couldn't stop playing, you know. So it's like for something that came out in 2007, this shit was fucking amazing. But Nightmare came out and I just got done re-listening to it again for a third time. Nightmare was fucking spectacular, you know. But there were some songs that I wasn't really crazy for, you know. So it's like for 11 songs and only 3 songs that I wasn't really feeling, it was still enjoyable to play. Especially Welcome to the Family, which is my #1 favorite already. I fucking played the crap out of this one a lot, like in the past 48 hours, you know. I couldn't stop playing it. It was fucking great. It was enjoyable. And Nightmare was just fucking, like, it was a great fucking album. And I really dig how this shit looks. You know, it's like, it was a really interesting look of the cover. But Hail to the King, man, which I had the instrumental playing for this. This was the greatest album they've ever released, by personal opinion. When this shit came out in 2013, Hail to the King, it fucking had immaculate fucking songs on this. You know, especially with Crimson Day, Requiem, This Means War, Hail to the King, Doing Time. Hail to the King, This Means War, Requiem, Crimson Day. Those songs are fucking, like, another fucking favorite, you know. Like, I have to instantly add those to my queue every time I'm in the mood to fucking play some heavy metal. I have to have Hail to the King on the list, on my queue. I have to have that, or This Means War, or Requiem. Especially when I'm playing Doom, I like to fucking have these in my fucking queue, you know. Hail to the King is by far the greatest fucking album that they've released. Waking the Falling, Resurrected. I don't really recall listening to this much, but then again, at the same time, I don't think I ever did because it was just a bunch of like already released songs that we've already heard from the original, just with some live performances. And in my opinion, I never really cared for the live performance music, you know. And if you're into that stuff, then hey, that's all cool, you know. The Stage, this was something completely different, not in a bad way, but honestly, this one was a bit iffy in my opinion, you know, especially with, again, a bunch of live songs. And then there were some songs that I just wasn't really digging at all, you know, especially with songs like God Only Knows, Wish You Were Here, As Tears Go, Runaway, and Roman Sky, Simulation. I wasn't really digging those songs at all on this album. And it's funny because Malagueña Salarosa, this song is not even theirs. And I would know because I heard this song on Kill Bill 2, Chapter 2. Sorry, forgot to mention that. I don't know why I paused. But that song played on fucking Kill Bill Chapter 2. So, obviously that song is much older than this project. But it was really dope to hear their version of it, you know. So it was like, it was really enjoyable. It really had a great metal sound, hard rock sound to it. But in my opinion, the Stage Deluxe Edition, this one was a bit of a flop for me, you know. It's like, it was not really all that great, you know. I was really digging a lot of the songs. It's just, I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it. My personal opinion. It was okay, but not the greatest. It wasn't all that, you know. Diamonds in the Rough. This, I most certainly fucking remember hearing. This was a fucking 16 out of 16 project. And this came out in 2020. And with Crossroads, Flash of the Blade, Tension, Dancing Dead was the fucking shit. Set Me Free, Paranoid was fucking great. I liked it. And honestly, I was really fucking enjoying that one. But with their final album for now, Life is But a Dream, this one was a pretty decent project for 11 songs. And only 2, 3, 4 out of 11. This was still enjoyable regardless. But honestly, man, for Life is But a Dream, it was still enjoyable regardless. And really, it really shows that these guys have a whole lot of depth in their music and a whole lot of tones. And it's absolutely fucking enjoyable. And I'm excited for their new project because they just released a new song last year in December called Magic. I've not heard it yet. And I'm probably going to check it out, but not add it to my list not until they drop an album. If they drop an album this year. But when they do, obviously, I'm going to listen to it. And I don't know, maybe I'll do a review for this album. But honestly, man, it really just shows that these guys have fucking changed metal forever in a great way, in my opinion. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I gotta say about Avenged Sevenfold. These guys are absolutely like an amazing fucking group. But in my opinion, nothing can ever compare to Hail to the King. Because this project was some top tier shit in my opinion. But y'all can let me know what you think. And I hope y'all enjoy this video. And I'm out. Peace.